sometimes I think we all get so busy in our jobs, right? And especially in
Right.
healthcare, that is a job where you don't have much free time at all. You
That's
really
right.
are on the go from beginning and end of shift. So I think what I think is sometimes it's intimidating to say like, well, I just don't have the time to make a new product. I have this great idea, but I don't have the time to do this. And in reality, you can with us like I don't know how every other company works, but I can say at Beekley like you can be as involved as you want to be, or you can be not involved, and it's very easy to come and say, listen, I have this idea, I'd like to work with you guys on this idea, I don't have time to do this. And that's where we can say, okay, you have a great idea, we would love to commercialize it, we would perform market research on it first to make sure it is commercially viable and that Beekley is going to be the best partner to you. Because if we're not going to be the best folks to sell this, what we like to do is say, this is not the great best product for Beekley, but we'll recommend who else you can bring this product to. And I think, but the benefit there is that, it isn't like it is such a massive amount of time because it's like a conversation with Beakley. We understand, what you're trying to do, what your product is, what you're going to solve. We can go out there and make it, commercialize it, and essentially you're going to get a royalty from, the sales that we get
Mhm.
off the product. So it's kind of nice. I like to call it mailbox money because it's like, you're out there doing your job. You had a great idea. You passed it along to a medical device company, and you're going to get residuals from that, for quite a long time,
Long
especially if
time.
it's patentable. So
Yeah.
it's a really nice kind of additional revenue stream that's available to healthcare professionals, and it's not a scary process. It actually could be relatively simple.
Yeah. But I hadn't even thought about that piece. That's a whole nother incentive to get out there and do that. I was going to say, even, I would imagine sometimes people just come and have an idea and you say, you know what? Maybe it's not so much a product, but because you're in so many places around the country, around the world, you can say, I have three people, like I said earlier. Hold on a second, I'm going to put you in touch with folks. I think that's what I used to get, used to throw me sometimes. I used to bring vendors all the time to my organization. And oftentimes my team's like, why are we looking at so and so? Like, we're not looking to buy anything. Or I'm like, yeah, it doesn't, I know we don't have the dollars right now. I know we're not looking to change, but why not listen? Because maybe we'll hear something that we can bring back to another partner. Or maybe we'll say, you know what, they're there in the day, the rainy day, when something comes up. We're like, you know what, where did we meet that company that did X, Y, and Z? But I think the biggest one always was, I love talking to the corporate partners because you had someone else who was dealing with what I was dealing with. You know what, my team would always say, we're very unique. I'm like, I wish we were that unique. Trust me, the same issues we're seeing are happening somewhere else. And you guys are just an unbelievable link to connect with other people. As much about the product, you might say, product, yes, we can work on that together. But in the immediate moment, let's just get you in touch with four of the people that are dealing with that, because that's where real value, I think, starts to come in, when it's not always buy my product, sell the product. It's just that relationship building. I think you mentioned early on, which that's the biggest thing I circled when you saw me making my notes that I took away from here.
Oh, it's
Um,
crucial. I mean, the relationships are really what drive this. And it really is a two-way street. It isn't, a medical device company will fail, I think, every single time if you stay inside the walls of your institution, you don't get out, and you make assumptions about what people need in healthcare, and then you create products like that. You have to get out of the building and you have to have open dialogue, and you've really got to have good relationships where people trust you, they're willing to talk to you about these types of things. I think establishing trust is a huge part of this. And then I feel
yeah.
like once you've established trust and you've developed those relationships, it's very easy to have these types of conversations